Let's jump into this story. Here's the big breaking news. It's a scoop, so saith Axios. Tucker Carlson sought Putin interview at time of spying claim. That's it right there. Now, for those that are not familiar with the story, let me just rehash real quickly for those that are just tuning in. Tucker Carlson came out on his show and said someone revealed to him information that was in his texts and his emails that no one else had access to. This, long story short, said to him the NSA was spying on him and his communications. This is what was conveyed to him. He said the intent was to leak it to get his show taken off the air. As soon as he comes out and says this, of course, all the conservatives say, I trust Tucker. I don't think he's going to make this up. Not even just conservatives, just, anti-establishment types. And of course, the establishment immediately said, he's making it up. He's lying. He's BSing. He's not being spied on. And the NSA themselves issued what's called a non-denial denial, where they said Tucker's claim that we're trying to get his show taken off the air is untrue. Perhaps semantics. But they never outright denied that they intercepted his communications. And Tucker said he pressed them. So, or him or one of his staff said, are you reading our emails? And they refused to issue a response. All of a sudden, a story comes out that Tucker was going to try and interview Vladimir Putin, which means the story did get leaked. From who? I'd have to imagine Tucker was right. It was the NSA. Jonathan Swan of Axios can just reveal who his source is. He says Tucker Carlson was talking to U.S.-based Kremlin intermediaries about setting up an interview with Vladimir Putin shortly before the Fox News host accused the NSA of spying on him. Sources familiar with the conversations tell Axios. Now, how are they familiar with those conversations if Tucker says he didn't share them with anybody? Is the source actually someone at Fox News who's stabbed Tucker in the back? No. The person that Tucker claims, unless, okay, of course, you can still say Tucker's a liar. But Tucker preempted this. Think about what would have happened if Tucker never said anything. The story right now would be leaked communications show Tucker trying to negotiate deals with Vladimir Putin or something to that effect. Instead, because Tucker came out and said he was working on a story, the narrative is now, while Tucker was claiming to be working on a story, he was talking to people who are Kremlin intermediaries. I think he ripped the fangs out. I think he calmed this one down. It was a smart move, and they dragged him over it. Now, the funny thing is all these journalists that are trying to act like it's, I'm a serious reporter. It must be true, even though they were the ones dragging him the whole time. That's what you can expect, man. Right?
Man, I'm a journalist. My number one job is to go to the source. My number one job is to get the best interview possible. Who would be a better interviewee than a leader of one of the UN Security Council members, the leader of their country? Vladimir Putin. I'm interested to examine a little bit more deeply the timing of this. It says here that they were talking to Putin now. It's about him trying to get an interview with Putin now.
Yep.
So this is in real time. This isn't even Trump is in office. This isn't even during Trump-Russia scandal or whatnot. This is just Tucker Carlson going about his normal business as a journalist who interviews top leading world officials, and they snared him in their international spy ring that's coordinated with multiple different English-speaking countries, Five Eyes, right? And they were like, hey, we need to figure out who this guy is. So they took him to a FISA court. They made a case, right? They had to make a case to a special judge to say, this is why we should be able to figure out who this American citizen is. And what could the case have been? This guy wants to talk to Putin. Oh, he must be a spy.
If it's the NSA, and I don't think Tucker's lying on this one, we've got his claim. The story gets leaked.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It's not like the NSA's come out and said, here's the evidence, we did it. But it's all lined up. So I'll put it there. I would say it's beyond a reasonable doubt, in my opinion. But to be fair, there's a probability that Tucker is wrong about who's leaking it, or he was misled. Somebody at Fox may have leaked it. Axios says, Axios has not confirmed whether any communications from Carlson have been intercepted, and if so, why? Think about what that means. What's with this weird doublespeak? Why can't Axios say, Axios has not confirmed whether any communications from Carlson were, why can't they say they have not confirmed that the NSA was the source of this information? What they're saying was his communications have been intercepted. So that means the source for Jonathan Swan may actually be the NSA. But the NSA didn't say we spied on Tucker. Just here's information on Tucker. Here's the point. When the NSA denied spying on Tucker, They never came out right and said, we are not reading his emails. We are not reading his texts. That's not true. They said, Tucker alleged that we were spying on his communications and were planning to leak them in order to get his show off the air. That allegation is untrue. Well, the allegation in that sentence is the final subject.
To get his show off the air.
Right. Which could have been hyperbolic, or they could have been like, we wanted to damage him, not get him canceled, just hurt him enough that maybe eventually he does. Who knows? They can argue a million ways why that wasn't true. But they never said, we did not intercept communications from Tucker Carlson. We are not spying on him, either accidentally or on purpose.
Right.
They gave some weird doublespeak.
Or incidentally. Right. Incidentally, which is actually like the key word in this case, right? Because it's really about them spying on Putin, and they incidentally have discovered that there is an American citizen involved. Therefore, now this internationally focused spy agency can now turn their attention. This is all congruent with everything we've been talking about here for months and months and months and months and months.
The war on terror coming home.
The
far-right extremists.
Dude, we've been saying this for what? How long?
Check this out. They say
2003, 2006.
Axios says, those sources said U.S. government officials learned about Carlson's effort to secure the Putin interview. How? Carlson learned the government was aware of his outreach, and that's the basis of his extraordinary accusation, followed by a rare public denial by the NSA that he has been targeted. Wait. Hold on. Sources have literally said Carlson learned the government was aware of his outreach. He's basically confirming there's a federal agency in some capacity somehow that was aware of his outreach.
No, what they're saying is the government is spying on you, Tucker. Why are you crying about it? No one's objecting to the spying.
Right.
They're objecting to the crying.
Now I want to go back to this statement from Axios. They have not confirmed whether any communication from Carlson have been intercepted, and if so, why. Not confirmed. The sentence literally means nothing. So an NSA guy goes to Jonathan Swan, hypothetically, and says, "Hey, you know Tucker Carlson is trying to meet with Putin. I can confirm that to you right now, 100% guaranteed." And Swan says, "How do you know that? Don't worry about it." Okay, I can't confirm they were spying on him, but he told me that. If it wasn't the NSA telling Jonathan Swan, why didn't they also add the source of this information is not coming from the NSA? No, they're quite literally saying Carlson learned that the government was aware. U.S. government officials had learned about this. Who with access to the government was providing information to Jonathan Swan?
That is an interesting question because it does suggest that there's a white hat and a black hat in operation right now, right? Somebody telling Tucker and somebody talking to Swan at the same time. Is it two different people? Is it the same person?
They go on to say, but let me read a little bit of this. The NSA's public statement didn't directly deny that any Carlson communications had been swept up by the agency. Axios submitted a request for comment to the NSA on Wednesday, asking whether the agency would also be willing to categorically deny that the NSA intercepted any of Carlson's communications in the context of monitoring somebody he was talking to in his effort to set up an interview with Putin. An NSA spokesperson declined to comment and referred Axios back to the earlier statement. Carefully worded, it says. In other words, the NSA is denying the targeting of Carlson, but is not denying that his communications were incidentally collected. And Axios is not telling us who their source is, whether or not their source is part of the NSA, and they could do that. If I had a source who revealed that Jack Murphy had stolen my cookies from the cookie jar, and people were like, Ian was the source, I could be like, Ian was not the source. I can confirm that much. Right? Lydia witnessed Jack, and I said, I'm not gonna out my source, but I can certainly say it wasn't Ian. That's one person out of the million it could have been. They could just say our source is not the NSA, is not in government.
What is Axios? What horse do they ride in here? What do they want to see have happen?
I don't know.
How do they slant? How do they lean? How do they dress, as the tailor asks?
I mean, Jonathan Swan, he's the guy who did that really awful interview with Trump where he was just negative about literally everything Trump said. Yeah. And he was scowling the whole time at everything Trump said.
Look, we know that they are literally searching right now. Oliver Dum Darcy and team, they're all searching for who's the next Putin, who's the next Hitler, who's the next Trump, who's the next evil guy that we have to destroy. And isn't it funny that the timing on all this just happened right now? Tucker Carlson is being named as, if Tucker hadn't gotten out in front of this, what would the story have been? Tucker Carlson trying to collude secretly with Vladimir Putin.
He's the
Russiagate 2.5.
Yes. So we already saw this absolutely hilarious story where Brian Stelter in his pathetic, desperate attempt for ratings. So for those who aren't familiar, he's a guy who hosts Sunday mornings on CNN.
It's a little poo-poo show.
And
You
he
can't
was
even
like,
see it on YouTube.
Is Tucker Carlson the new Alex Jones? Yes. And then Oliver Darcy's like, Tucker Carlson is the new Alex Jones. The funny thing is Oliver never blinked. Did you notice that? I didn't really notice, but a lot of people kept posting like, does this guy blink at all? Like he's just standing there staring at the camera. Dude's gone nuts. Like Oliver, these people, I wonder if they like cry at night.
Oliver, I know
Probably.
you're crying, dude.
In
I
his
know you're
sleep.
crying.
Well, no, but think about it. Like they've dug themselves in so deep to this anti-Trump narrative that there's nothing they can do. They could guys. It was a big joke. No, their careers are done.
Done.
The only thing they have left is Orange Man bad, but there's no Orange Man anymore.
They're trying
So-
to find one desperately.
Tucker Carlson is the new Alex Jones. They said. Did you see this clip? Did you see the clip they did?
Oh, with Stelter and Darcy?
Stelter and Darcy on the new Alex Jones.
Of course I did, because
It's-
Oliver,
it's-
I love laughing at you, by the way.
Tucker Carlson goes, he's like, there's risks in everything, of course, and even vaccines. And then it pauses. And then it's Alex Jones, yelling about the vaccines. I'm like, those aren't even the same statements. Your doctor will tell you there can be adverse reactions. Like, that's normal. Then there's, what does he say? When he mentions the spying, then it shows an old clip from like the 2000s of Jones being like, they're spying on me and it's been admitted it's happening. And I'm like, so you found 3 or 4 things that are somewhat related but still kind of different, and you're acting like he's verbatim repeating Alex Jones. It was the most ridiculous garbage story ever. A few months ago, what did they say? Tucker Carlson is the new Donald Trump. And they did the same thing, showing Tucker saying things and then Trump saying things, and they're like, Tucker is the new Trump. They've been trying to do that nonstop. I don't think it has anything to do necessarily with politics, though. Partly, I'm sure. A lot of activists don't like that Tucker Carlson is influential, speaking to young people particularly, huge in the ratings, especially in the key demo. I think they're just desperate for an Orange Man. They ain't no Orange Man no more.
They don't know what to do. They don't know how to function unless they've got someone they can point to and say, Hitler, 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 Hitler. And they're going to try to tie everybody back to Trump because they really shot their wad on this.
You want it?
Right? Like, you can't get any worse than the things that they called Trump.
Right.
So they got to now call everybody Trump.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.